Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. Today, I'm going to prune down in the vineyard. If I can ever get started. I've just had one thing after another come up this morning, and all of a sudden it is almost exactly noon right now. And I don't think there's any way on earth I'm going to get that whole vineyard pruned today. But I will do what I can. Okay, I'm here in the vineyard. You people from California are probably not used to people pruning in a vineyard with a sled. But that's what we have to go through with cold weather grapes. So, well, quick lesson. These, let me get on the other side. These are called trunks, the uprights. These are water chutes, the ones coming out of the side of the trunk. All of that has to go, any water chute. And what I do is, well, I'll show you that a little bit later when I'm actually pruning, but I prune it really close to make sure that there's no latent buds that will make another one of these later in the year. Yeah, this might not work. I was trying the wheelbarrow a little earlier and it was just really hard to move in this, but I won't be moving that fast, so maybe that's a better option. Okay, so these are called spurs. They are like little stubby branches that come down from the cordon. There's a cordon going this way and a cordon going this way, and each one is supposed to have a spur about every 6 inches. Some of these are just really messed up. Look, this is like 3 inches and this is like 8 inches. This is probably about due to get another cordon. And what you would do, this is my renewal spur here. So to get a new cordon here, I would let a shoot grow from one of these 3, get rid of the other ones, let a shoot grow and come up. The problem with that is you lose a lot of your productivity for that year at least, but in the long run it'll probably be best. I got 1, 2, 3 in a row that are at like 3 inches, and then this is 6 inches right here, which is fine, and then this one's close to 6 inches. But besides that, on each one of these, see, I have way too many shoots that came out of this. There should just be 3 or 2. So I don't know what happened with the pruning last year. So what I want to do on this one is one of these shoots that is roughly the size of a pencil is the one I'm going to keep. And it should be one that's closer to the cordon, the one closest, preferably. So on this one, I would probably keep this one here, and then cut these. I would just cut this off right here, and then cut it at an angle here. I don't need all the rest of this garbage down here, which is just going to have a ton of shoots on it anyways, and it'll shoot all kinds, or a ton of buds. And it'll shoot all kinds of nonsense like this. So that's what I would do on this. What I want to end up with is, you should have, or at least this is the way I do it, I should have 6 buds per foot, and each one of these cordons is 3 feet. With 3 buds on each spur, that's what you end up with. 6 buds per foot. So that's what I'm shooting for. And like I said, yeah, that one is really crowded, so it's not a super good example. Like this is what you would normally have. We have this is a bull cane. I'll tell you what that is in a second. But this is a more average spur. So I don't, this one is a little bit too fat. I would definitely choose this one that's way up close to the cordon. And I want 2 or 3 buds. On this I would probably take 2 because the next bud is way down here. Maybe I would go to 3 and then possibly come back and re-prune to make sure I don't have any winter damage. That's kind of a problem in cold weather grapes. If you prune too early, you can have cold damage on the spur that you leave. If you prune late, you still have all these choices, and you can find ones that are still viable. But I believe I'll be okay. Not super worried about it. On this one, I would cut this completely off, get rid of this mess. This is the perfect size. And again, I want to keep 3 buds. There's one back here, one here, and one here. And definitely get rid of this. You don't want any mummies, which are what people call these raisins. They're old dried grapes. They harbor disease that will affect the vine this coming year. And I actually come in and exfoliate a little bit. I take a soft brass wire brush and scrub these, scrub the flaky bark off, and that exposes the overwintering pests and spores. It exposes them to the elements and either washes them off or just kills them from being exposed. And then the first day where it's 50 degrees for 24 hours, I come in and do a dormant oil spray. So anything that survived the weather is coated in oil, and that suffocates it. It is really helpful to keep the disease level down in the vineyard. So without further ado, I'm going to start attacking these, and I will stop back here and there to explain what I'm doing. Oh, before that, the bull cane. I'm not sure if this is actually a bull cane or not. No, it's not. This is just something that was hidden under the canopy. It's coming from that cane over there. It's a side shoot that went all the way over here and went up into the sun. And when I'm doing like midsummer thinning and stuff, I try to find these because they just add all kinds of leaves to the canopy right in the fruiting zone. This is the fruiting zone right here. So when the new shoots come out, I want to prune it so that I have shoots aimed in the right direction, which is down, wherever possible. Sometimes it's not possible. Then the new shoots will grow down. These tend to grow down to start with, which is why they are on a high wire like this. As they go down, most of your fruit will happen right here within the first foot or two. So this will just be loaded with fruit. I'll link to the video of us harvesting last year. We had to do it really quick, so it's not that good of a video, but it shows how much fruit's in here. And I think there's a few other videos that show all the fruit, but mainly the fruit will concentrate right in this area, and you don't want stuff like this shading it. So this will be pruned out. This stuff can be hard to get out of here. You got to keep cutting it and yanking it, and it's got all the tendrils on it. And you want to get rid of the tendrils as well. Anything that's left over from the previous year can contain disease that'll follow into the next year. So you want to get all this stuff out of here and burn it. And I'll be setting up a pile over there and probably burning tomorrow, because there is no way on earth I'm going to be able to prune this whole thing today. The day just got away from me really bad. And if you don't do this thoughtfully, it can affect the harvest. So I'm going to take my time and do it right, and if it takes 2 days, so be it. So I will come back and show you if I find a bull cane. Bull canes are generally really far between nodes. It might have a node here and a node here, like 8-10 inches, and they're generally pretty fat. I've had bull canes on a vine up there that have traveled 30 feet. They just right along the wire, and they get like a half inch around, 3/8 to a half inch around, and they're not very fruitful. They're not real helpful at all. I think in nature they are probably a reproductive thing where they shoot really far away, really fast, and then these vines, when they go on the ground, they will shoot down roots and restart in another place. So I think that's what their purpose is in nature, that and going between trees, because you'll see where you'll have vines in one tree and then it'll have one going across to the next tree. So I think you have a bull cane that's like waving in the wind until it can latch on to another tree. But you definitely don't want them in your vineyard. You don't want to save 3 nodes from a bull cane. Well, one, it would be hard because they're so far apart, but people will do it because it looks so nice and fat. Okay, let me get going here, and I'll come back if I find a bull cane or something else interesting that I need to talk about. Okay, the vast majority of these vines are much better than this one. I don't know why I started here, possibly because it's at the beginning of the row. But these always have problems, these ones at the beginning of the row, because of the cross beam on these end posts. But not only that, this is just a problematic one to start with. But what I got rid of a ton of stuff on here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spurs on here. And I believe I cut, there was a blob of stuff and it was growing right into the wire. So I just cut the whole thing off. I'll probably have a sprout coming out of a bud, a latent bud that's right in here somewhere. And if so, I'll train a new spur going down here. But that was one of the spurs for this arm. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this. This whole cordon is not very good, and I should probably renew it soon, but not this year. This is a renewal spur that I would use to renew this cane if it ever becomes necessary, and I don't have a renewal spur. This is the renewal zone right here. So I gotta watch this, and if I get a shoot coming out of here somewhere, I gotta make sure I save it, and I think I'll drape one over this year if I can, and then use it next year to replace that arm or that cordon. This is much better. I mean, these have one every 6 inches for the most part. This is kind of missing one right in here. You can see where it was. Something might come out of there, but I don't know yet. I think I was using this one as a replacement because where's the renewal spur is down here. Here's the renewal spur for that one. They should have a renewal spur right in the fruiting zone for each cordon. There should be one on each trunk. These will be much easier to choose. Like on this one, this one is pretty wimpy. This one is a little better, but this one is really nice. So I will cut it off here and then flush cut this and then use this one. I'm not real sure how long the life of a cordon can be, but you know, maybe 4 or 5 years. I'm just guessing because I know I've seen some that are really, really, really old, like on the ones in Italy and stuff and France. This is actually Pinot Noir bred with, it's called river grape or frost grape it's just an American wild grape from cold weather climate like Wisconsin here. Okay, I will show the pruning of an entire vine, or it's actually 2 vines in most cases, but it's 6 feet of space. So I'll show that a little bit later. I have a neighbor that's coming in and out, and I don't want to be interrupted. So when he comes back, I think he just went to the store. When he comes back, I will show you on one of these vines, wherever I'm at. I have to go and get the wheelbarrow and roll it down here. That's just from that one vine right there. And the sled keeps escaping on me. It has a mind of its own, and I'm afraid it's just going to take off and go all the way to the other end soon. And it's hard to contain all this stuff in this sled. So I'm going to have to go get the wheelbarrow, and I will continue pruning for a bit, and then I'll get back with you and show you a full vine. I found a bull cane. It's probably, I don't know, half hour later, and I got 2 done. So this is going to take a while, and I'm working right here, but I seen this bull cane. So now it's flattened on each side, so it's kind of oval, and it has long internodes. That is about 8 inches right there. This is not like a huge bull cane, but this is definitely a bull cane. Let me see if I can cut this for you. See how it's oval in cross section? It's flattened on the top and on the bottom and rounded on both sides. That is a bull cane, and it's coming from this spur right here. So I won't be using that bull cane, and I don't have anything up here, and I don't want this aiming up. This is too small, so I'm going to have to go with this, which is getting pretty damn far down. In reality, this spur is kind of dead, but nothing I can do about it right now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep this one on that. It's a shame though, but it's possible I'll get something shooting out a little higher up, and I can replace this down here, because it'll keep getting lower and lower, and then it'll just prematurely end this cordon. You can't have it way down here. Otherwise the fruiting zone will be way down here. Okay, I'm going to keep going, and then, like I said, I'll get back with you when I do a whole vine. Alright, I'm down at the end of row 1, and unfortunately I couldn't show the pruning of a whole vine because the kids that live here were out and they were screaming and getting a little crazy, so it was a little distracting. But so far this row took over 4 hours. It took 4.5 hours, I believe, or 4 hours. So this is going to take longer than I thought. These are a good deal bigger than they were last year. I remember it taking 1 day, but I might be mistaken. It very well could be. I pruned it much later in the year, so the days were much longer, and there was no snow on the ground. This just makes it real difficult. So I'll walk up here. The kids are coming out again. So I'll go over some of this stuff tomorrow. This one died, and it shot from the ground, from the root. Well, the upper part died, and it shot from the ground last year. So this will get tied up and pruned later. Yeah, that sun, I'm working from this side because most of the stuff is trained to this side. So I have that blazing sun in my eyes, which is part of the reason I decided to stop for now. And the other reason is I got to get a video made, and it's getting late. So there was a lot to prune, and I believe this was by far the worst row, because just looking at this as I'm walking by, this has really nice, well-defined spurs on it, the right amount, and it's got stuff going down, and this was just a nightmare. It's just all over the place. So when I do show the pruning of whole vine, I'm going to try to get out here tomorrow and make another video. I don't know if I'll put it out tomorrow or not. I have other stuff ready to go, so it'll come up soon. I got 4 more rows, but I have like a month and a half to get it done, so I just wish it was a little bit closer right now. Yeah, I got some pretty wicked bull canes going on some of these. Yeah, this entire row, this second row, has a ton of stuff shooting upwards. I don't know what the heck's up with that. Because the other ones aren't that bad. They just have little tiny stuff that's going to do it either way. But some of these look like I missed, entire, like this. This should be cut off. That shouldn't even be there. There should be one every 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should be 6 on there. This should be cut off. This should be cut off. And, well, this is from this year, but this should be cut off right here. All this cut off and leave this. And then this will look really nice. Okay. Well, there definitely won't be another pruning video tomorrow, but it'll be coming up probably next week. If I do more than one a week, it gets pretty boring. Okay, so that'll wrap it up for today. If you want to see the progress on this stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. Click all so you receive all of the updates. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you give us a thumbs up and or share this, it helps us out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.